Hey, what's up, guys? You're listening to the It Takes a Village podcast. I'm Ashley, your host. This is where the struggles are real, the callings are heavy, the kids are sticky. We come together because it takes a village, and this is your tribe. Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry for the late episode release. I meant to release this episode this morning or Wednesday morning, depending on when you're listening to this. But I lost all my audio files and it was just a mess. And so now here I am at 8:40 in the evening while my husband is putting the kiddos to bed and I am hopping on. So on the last episode, I talked about debt and conquering debt with a big family. I wanted to share another resource with you guys, somebody who I follow on Instagram, but she also has a website that is super helpful, and it is Jordan Page. So you can find her on Instagram at Jordan Page, and she has a website, funcheaperfree.com. And then also, I'm sure you guys know, Money Saving Mom is another good resource for saving money as well. So just thought I would share that with you guys real quick. But today's episode is about a video that I saw on my newsfeed on Facebook from the daily Goalcast, which they put out like inspiring videos and all this sort of stuff. And it was on, what was it? It said conflict. Could it end your marriage or your relationship or something like that? Whatever it was, whatever the title was, it caught my eye. And I watched it and it really resonated with me because I remember that feeling of being with my husband and being in that place and thinking, oh my gosh, like we fight constantly over the same things. We must be doing something wrong. And I remember the feeling of relief when we were being mentored by a couple that we looked up to that have been married for many, many years. And they told us, we fight, right? And I was like, what? I grew up watching my parents fight constantly, yelling, arguing, cussing at each other. That was my example of quote unquote marriage, which they weren't even technically married. Legally, I guess by state they were because they had lived together so long, but they never actually went and got married. But what I saw in them defined for me what a failing relationship looked like. So moving forward, because to me, they were in no way successful. So moving forward, that was my example. That was my basis of like, oh, they fight. They suck. Like they're doing it wrong. I don't want to do that. And then when I got married and we fought, I always felt like, man, like I must be doing something wrong. We're doing something wrong. Maybe we don't match. Maybe it's us. Maybe we're not compatible. Maybe I wouldn't fight with somebody else. And the truth is you'll always fight with somebody else. It's just, is it worth fighting with a person? Like if you could fight with one person for the rest of your life, who would it be? And it would totally be my husband. If I think about it at all, I'm like, there's no way I could fight with anybody else but him. There's nobody else who would put up with my fighting but him. And so when this couple was investing in, my husband and I, mentoring us and leading us through our premarital counseling before we got married, and revealed that they fought, I couldn't believe it. It never looked like they fought. They just didn't seem like the people that would fight. And in my mind, like I said, successful married people didn't fight. So it was totally mind-boggling to me to hear that, but also an extreme relief because it made me feel like I wasn't failing, like our marriage wasn't failing, like I was normal, like we were normal. And the truth is, fighting doesn't mean you're failing. Fighting means you're human. You're different people coming together to live under one roof. You have different ideals of communication. You grew up in different atmospheres. You grew up in different households. You had different examples of what a married couple is. You have different ways of communication. Oh, I already said that. You have different ways of handling conflict. You both have different ways of showing love. Which, if you haven't heard me say this 1,000 times, if you haven't already, you definitely need to check out the 5 love languages. It will save your life. I remember when my husband and I first got the book and looked on the website and took the quiz, and we were like, what? Like this whole time, this makes so much sense now why you don't think that, like why you don't feel loved or, why your love tank is empty. it was pretty mind blowing. Something so simple. It just. Anyways, you have to check it out if you haven't already. 5 Love Languages. Anyways, so yeah, you're different people coming together to live under one roof. So how could it not be possible to have conflict? Like, have you ever had a roommate that you lived with that was just like an amazing experience? I can't think of a time where we didn't have conflict, and it was different because I had no desire to muddle it out with her, like I had no desire. There was no, I'd rather just live with somebody else. So, like, it's just, you just have different, and like the video says, if you watch it, I linked it in my Facebook group, that It Takes a Village Tribe. And then also this episode is a blog post on my website, theashcarroll.com. So you can go and check out the video there, or you can search the Daily Goalcast. And the video was called Will Conflict End Your Relationship? So yeah, my husband and I fight about the same stupid thing every time, but I tell you that the fight gets easier, a little bit easier every time. And sometimes it's like we take one step forward, 2 steps back. Sometimes we're angrier, sometimes we're not as angry. And each time we get better at communicating, which I think is the whole purpose. The purpose is not to solve the fight. The purpose of marriage isn't to fight at all. It's not to not fight at all, but it's to help us become a better team. It's like that iron sharpens iron saying. It's not always fun, and it's definitely painful, but you get stronger every time. So this is definitely a shorter episode, which is perfect for you guys, right? Because we're busy and we're trying to mom and we're trying to do all the things. But I just felt like I needed to share that, because hopefully you guys aren't in that place of feeling like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with us? Or if you are, maybe this episode will give you the relief that I felt when our mentors told us, like, oh my gosh, we fight about the same thing. We've been fighting about the same thing for the past 20 years. Are you kidding me? And it's just a part of being human. I can't think of a time where, like, I didn't even argue with myself, to be honest, So I just wanted to share this to give a little bit of encouragement in case you're in that place, or, a reminder, because life gets busy and marriage just gets put on the back burner sometimes, or whatever the situation. I just felt like I needed to share. So I hope this episode was helpful for you guys. In other news, I am 30 weeks pregnant as of Tuesday. So woot woot. I'm really excited about that. I have, hopefully, crossing my fingers, 10 weeks, or maybe a couple days short or shy of left. Because we all know those last few weeks are brutal. So I'm really excited to be in the home stretch of that. But I would love it if you guys could subscribe to this podcast. That lets iTunes know that you guys enjoy it, that you love it, and also so you don't miss another episode that I hopefully can get out on time, because, hashtag mom life. But I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you guys that are listening, and I hope that you listen in next time.